Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. Today we are from last group. We'll discuss about disease and pest control in coffee plant. Let's meet our member. And the first one is Garistia Cahaya Nirwana with student number 234, Ilham Faiza with student number 239, and then Isna Yuni Estierin with student number 242, and the last one is me, Uliatul Mumiro Hanikaf with student number 243. Next. Okay, let's discuss about mind map. The first one is introduction about pest and disease in coffee plants, and then major pest in coffee plant and how to control it, and then major disease in coffee plant and how to solve it, and the last is conclusion. Next.
For the introduction, coffee is one of the plantation commodity products that has a high economic value among other plantation crops and plays an important role as a source of foreign exchange, but also a source of income of coffee farmers in Indonesia. And there are several types of pests and diseases that commonly attack to coffee plants, and we have to know about the types of it because it can help us to determine the control. Next. Next is major pests in coffee crops. The first one is Hippopotamus hampei. In Indonesia, it is known as penggerek buah kopi, and it is the most important pest in coffee crops because it attack coffee cherries. The symptoms are the fruit doesn't develop, turn reddish yellow in color, and eventually falls off. Next. Silosandrus spp. In this case, we mention Silosandrus compactus that is considered a very important pest because it is easy to adapt to the environment, although its life is limited in hot and tropical areas. The symptoms are the plant part of coffee, especially brains, is drying out. The next is about Coccus viridis. In Indonesia, we know as kutu hijau, which is green tick attack coffee plants by sucking the juices of leaves and branches that are still green, causing the leaves to turn yellow and dry out. These leaves usually cluster and live on the lower surface of the leaves, especially on the leaf bones. Next. Varicella virgata. The symptoms of plant leaf attack become yellow and wilted. On the leaf and stems, there are groups of white insects. This mealybug pest grown can interfere with the photosynthesis process in leaves because the leaf surface is covered by this insect pest. So when Varicella virgata attack coffee, it will disturb the photosynthesis process on the coffee's leaf because it is covered the entire surface of the leaves. Next is Ratilenchus coffeae. It usually attack in coffee's root, especially in fiber roots, which actively absorb nutrients and water. As a result, the root fibers become damaged, brown, and form burn wounds. And because the existence of these wounds can disturb the absorb of nutrient and water, so it also can disturb the growth of the coffee plant. Next. Zeuzera caviae. The symptoms that are caused are the leaf of the affected plant wither, then fall off, the plant becomes dry and eventually dies. If the larvae are still active inside, there will be visible dust in the form of small spheres 1 until 2 mm in diameter with a reddish brown color that has accumulated under the affected plant trees. This insect can survive for months on coffee stalks. Next.
Okay, the next is how to control the pest. In case we want to control the pest of coffee fruit borer, that is Hippopotamus hampeifer, for example. The first one is using OCPP resistant varieties. That is, the use of CPB-resistant varieties is the first step in a control strategy. Ranting Karua's farm has varieties planted including CIFC, USDA, Lini S, Kartika, Katuai, and local Typica. One way to control CPB is by planting varieties or clones that are capable of cooking simultaneously. Next, we know as a technical culture, we have a pig powder, Caesar, lalasan, fixed shade arrangement, garden sanitation, and the last is fertilization. And then biological control. Biological control is carried out using natural enemies that attack CPB pests, such as parasitoids and insect pathogens. And then physical control, to reduce yield loss, BBKO pest trapping technology can also be applied. Traps using certain compounds or Hipotan can selectively attract adult BBKO pests, making it safe for natural enemies. And the last is the use of vegetable pesticides. The use of vegetable pesticide to control BBKO pests has also been widely practiced in several coffee plantations. It has been used in Tanzania to control CPP. The concentration used was 50 until 100 gram leaves per liter of water and aided with soapy water. Next.
Okay, the next one is major disease in coffee plants. The first one is leaf rust disease. Leaf rust disease is caused by the fungus Hemileia fastastrix. The disease affects coffee plants in nurseries as well as adult plants. Symptoms of leaf rust disease can be seen on the upper and lower surface of leaves, characterized by yellow-orange patches such as powder. Infected leaves appear yellow patches then turn brown. Factors that influence the development of the disease are the environment, namely temperature, humidity, precipitation, and sunlight. The optimum temperature of the development of the disease is 21 until 25 degrees Celsius. Temperature above 6 degrees Celsius around coffee plants can inhibit the development of the disease. Next. Second one is leaf spot disease. Coffee leaf spot disease is caused by Cercospora coffeicola, also called brown eye spot, found in all coffee planting areas around the world. Disease of the leaf mainly affects in nurseries. Symptoms of attack on the leaf are round patches, reddish brown or dark brown, clearly bordered and concentric. The factors that influence the development of the disease are high humidity, such as during the rainy season, the nursery is too dark, the drying is too less, and the sun is too strong on the fruit. Third one is upas fungal disease. Upas or pink disease is caused by Upasia salmonicolor, or also known as Corticium salmonicolor, which is widespread in tropical areas around the world. A typical symptom of an upas fungal attack is a branch or twig that has sudden withering. Attacks can occur on branches below, center, or at the end of trees, even on trunks. Fungal disease is affected by humidity, especially in areas with high rainfall and damp gardens due to lack of pruning and the protective trees are too large. Next is root fungal disease. Root fungal disease that often affects coffee plants are white root fungus, brown root, and black root. Symptoms of root fungus attack are both white, brown, and black. Root fungus usually the same, namely the leaves or diseased plant turn yellow, wither, and fall off. Root fungus can grow at 10 until 40 degrees Celsius. Spores can dwell at optimum temperatures of 25 until 30 degrees Celsius. GAP also likes porous and humid soil conditions and likes optimum soil pH between 5.5 until 6.5. Next. The last one is root dew disease. There are two types of fungi that attack plant resulting the formation of Sutu, Capnodium sp and Meliola sp. Symptom of plant affected by Sutu begins the presence of white patches on the lower leaf. The white patches develop rapidly and form a blackish and sticky layer on the surface of the leaf. The factors that affect the disease of powdery dew is appropriate environmental state. Powdery flower can develop well in temperature conditions of 22 until 26 degrees Celsius with humidity reaching 80 until 88. Fungus love plants whose leaves are dense. When the sun is full, fungus are protected with the leases of the leaves. The wind also brings the seeds of the flower. The fungus extend to other plants.
Next is disease control. The first disease is leaf rust disease, caused by Hemilea vastatrix. Leaf rust prevention can be done by do not grow Arabica coffee below an altitude of 750 meters above sea level. Technical culture control can be done in the following ways. The first one is regulation. The second one is balanced fertilization, and the third one is use of resistant varieties. Chemical control is carried out after leaf rust attack reach a tolerance threshold of 20% of the coffee leaves are attacked. Application is carried out with the use of contact and or systemic fungicide. Next. Next is leaf spot disease caused by Cercospora coffeicola. Effort to control leaf spot disease in nurseries include reducing humidity. And if you find symptoms of leaf spot attack and it has not spread, then cut the affected or sick leaves. The sick leaves, either fallen or cut, are then collected and burned or buried. Spraying of fungicide made from active copper or with fungicide made from active ingredients like mancozeb. Next is upas fungal disease caused by Upasia salmonicolor. Upas fungal disease in this plant can be done by regularly trimming the seed. In addition, if the affected branch is still small in size, then cut it at the bottom of the affected base. Then collect it and destroy it. If the disease is still in its early stage, it can be controlled by smearing the fungicide like Calixin RM. Meanwhile, at an advanced level of attack, the affected branch or stems are cut. Then the rest of the cut stems or branch and their surroundings were smeared with the fungicide like Calixin, RM, or copper sandus. Next. Root fungal disease caused by Rhipidoporus lignosus, Pelinus noxious, and Roselina bunodes. In mild attacks, it can still be saved by opening the roots. The surface of the roots where the fungus is growing is scraped off with a tool that doesn't injure the roots. The rotten roots were cut and burned. Then the entire root surface was smeared with the recommended fungicide. After the wound dries up, all the roots are covered again with soil. The 4 plants around the diseased plants were sprinkled with Trichoderma hertzianum and fertilizer. Plants that have been treated and are examined again 6 months after application by opening the roots. If there are still fungal traces, then scrape it off and reapply it with fungicide. Plants that are severely affected or have died or fallen must be immediately dismantled. Next. The last disease is Sooty disease. Some of the recommended control are environmental sanitation, cleaning the location of weeds that are too dense, which are the preferred host or growing places for fungi, reducing dry cover, attempted to penetrate the sun's ray so that the temperature and humidity do not match the growth of the sooty fungus. Affected leaves are removed and destroyed by burning so that the fungus doesn't spread. Reducing fertilization with high N content, the use of fermented compost is necessary to maintain the affected plants. Spraying with a natural pesticide made from chilies and onions dissolved in soapy water. Garlic function as a pest repellent, fungicide, and insecticide. Chili works as a pest repellent and insecticide. Meanwhile, soap function to attach the solution. Pests that can be targeted by these natural pesticides are worms, caterpillar, moth, and ants. An organic fungicide with active ingredient of the fungi Trichoderma, Beauveria bassiana, and Metarhizium. Next.
Okay, conclusion. The major pests of coffee plants include Hippopotamus hampei, Silosandrus spp, Coccus viridis, Parisia virgata, Pratylenchus coffeae, Zeuzera coffeae. And there are 5 ways to control it, namely the using of CPB-resistant varieties, technical culture, biological control, physical control, and the use of vegetable pesticides. Then, the major disease in coffee plants is leaf rust disease, which is controlled by technical culture and chemical control. There is leaf spot disease, which is controlled by a technical culture, then upas fungal disease, which is controlled by a technical culture and mechanically, fruit fungal disease, which is controlled mechanically and chemically, and sudo disease, which can be controlled with sanitation, technical culture, and using biological control. Okay, that's all from our group. Thank you for your attention and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.